Hey there, I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate.
And today we're taking a look at The Initiative by Unexpected Games.
The Initiative is a code-breaking narrative game in which you learn a story about 4 kids over the course of several different playthroughs. And the story changes up a little bit as you go about the game. It's a campaign, and it's got some legacy aspects to it, which means it's pretty secretive, so we can't tell you too much without spoiling it away. But don't worry, we're not going to spoil anything about this game for you in this video. Right now we're going to go down to the table, show you how the basic mechanics of this game work without ruining anything for you, and then we'll come back and share our thoughts on this game. Alright, I have the Initiative on the table here, and in this portion of the video I am going to explain how a game of the Initiative works. I'm not going to spoil anything per se, but if you are someone who does not even want to have the way the game looks, because it is pretty cryptic, the box doesn't really show you a whole lot of what's going on with this game. And so if you don't want even that spoiled, I would recommend that you fast forward through this chapter of the video onto our thoughts on this game. Otherwise, if you're not too concerned about that, continue to watch here. And I'm going to show you the board and how a round works, but I'm not going to spoil any of the puzzles or the legacy elements of this game. With that being said, here we go. So in the Initiative, you are going to be playing as one of 4 characters who are going to be playing a board game. And so it's a game within a game of sorts. And that game is that you are spies infiltrating some sort of facility, trying to get intel, breaking a code each and every round. And so this is what the board looks like. I'll explain how that works here in a minute. But the 4 characters are these 4 kids. And so there's a little bit of narrative on these kids as well as special abilities that they have that they're able to do on their turns. And you learn about them going through the guidebook here, which is like a comic book. I'm not going to show you anything in there, but it is a story that tells you a little bit about each one of these kids and their interactions with this board game that is very mysterious. It's not like Jumanji, it doesn't eat them or anything like that, but there are some weird cryptic things going on with this board game. You do also have this rule set here that helps you to understand how to play the game that's separate from the guidebook, but you are going to need both of those in order to play this game. Now in this game, as I've mentioned, you are going to be moving about this board here trying to collect these files. And what are on these files are different symbols and glyphs, and these are going to mean different things, and you're going to want to try to gather up specific ones to solve a puzzle that sort of looks like a Wheel of Fortune puzzle. Kind of think of it that way if you're familiar with the game show. And you're going to have a deck of mission cards, and these are going to tell you, stop, don't look at the other side of these cards. That's because the answer to the puzzle that you're trying to figure out each round is on the back of these cards. And so they'll also tell you how to set up that specific mission, sometimes telling you to include different tiles and sort of things. So this is the very first one. I'm not spoiling anything by showing you this because as soon as you open the box and you start to play the game, this is the very first thing that you're going to put out. And so you can see we've got here our different files and that blocked wall here. And this board is double-sided. There's another side of the board that you're going to use throughout the course of the game. Now in this game, you're going to be taking 4 different actions using a deck of cards that have 3 different suits ranging from numbers 1 to 12. And the numbers are very, very important. You cannot talk about what cards you have in your hand. You can say cryptic things like, I have the very perfect card to do running, because you start with low cards. And you have to play low cards and higher cards on top of lower cards. So you play a card to be able to take an action, and the run is going to allow you to move up to 3 rooms. You start in the room in which you have the entrance and exit in, and from that room you can move to 3 rooms, or up to 3 rooms, taking the run action. You have to be in a certain room to be able to collect certain files. And that is what the gather action lets you do. Collect up to 2 clue tokens from your room. But if you don't want to necessarily be in the room to find out what that clue token is, you can take the intel action, which allows you to choose a room and reveal up to 2 clue tokens in it. And so you might be thinking, well, that sounds easy. Why not just reveal all the clue tokens and then go pick them up? Well, there are certain tokens that disrupt your plans. Now, if you gather this specific token, which is gas, then it's going to hurt you in the fact that it's going to cause you to discard 1 card at random from your hand. If you do the intel action and reveal any one of these 3 icons, then it's going to cause you to lose that ability. So for instance, if this token comes up, you can no longer take the intel action until you remove this token, and I'll come back to how you do that here in a second. So these 3 tokens are really bad. The camera icon is one that's going to hurt you if you end your turn in the room with the camera, because every time you end a turn in a room with a camera, you discard a card from your deck. And we'll come back to why that is a problem here in a second. The 4th and final thing that you can do on your turn is regroup. And when you choose to regroup, you're going to place a card here and choose any one of the other 3 decks, removing all the cards that are on that and any tokens that might be on it, discarding the cards to the discard pile, and now you can start taking that action again, because once you get up to 12, there are no cards higher than 12, and if you want to take that action again, you're going to have to regroup. Now here's the catch. You cannot regroup the regroup. So whatever cards you put here on regroup are lost for the rest of the game. And so that is the catch. You want to start off small, low numbers here and not increase them too much, because you're going to need to regroup these other 3 actions. Now your discard pile, once your deck completely runs out and all the cards are right here other than the ones that are on the regroup and the ones that you still have in your hand, then you are going to take all these cards, which there are 4 time cards, shuffle them up, and you're going to flip this card over, because now you are in peril. And thematically what's happening here is you're running out of time and you need to hurry up to figure out all these clue tokens to figure out the puzzle on the back of this before your time is up. And how this works is when 3 time watch icons come up in the deck, then you lose. And you do have to keep note here that one of them has 2 watch icons on it. And so if anytime 3 of them come up, game over, you've lost, and you don't get to solve the puzzle. Now at any time that you think you know the answer to the puzzle, you can stop and say, I think I know it, and take a guess at it. If you're right, you win. If you're wrong, you lose. There are no do-overs in this game. You get 1 chance and 1 chance only. There's also a deck of secret cards here. I'm not going to show you any of those because it does say stop, do not look at these. But certain puzzles are going to let you draw cards from this secret deck, which kind of progress the story. Certain puzzles for you to figure out, escape room elements in this deck, as well as the guidebook here. All very interesting stuff that helps push the narrative of the initiative, and that is how you play. Let's go back up top and share our thoughts on this one. All right, we're back, and right now we're going to share our thoughts on the initiative, what we thought about this game, some of the things we like, and again, we're not going to spoil anything for you, so don't worry about that. Sam, you're a non-gamer, so this is kind of a different game, even for gamers, let alone non-gamers. What did you think about the initiative?
I really like this game. We're kind of in a code mystery type kick right now. We've played a couple, probably 3 or 4 in the last month, and this is probably my favorite one out of all of them. It's very unique. We've done a lot of what's it called?
Escape rooms.
Escape room type games in the past, and that's usually, I like those. I like the cooperative aspect of it, but this game really takes it to a different level. The legacy aspect of it, which is not something that I typically go for in other games. Not that we've played a lot of them, but I think Lance knows to kind of steer away from those with me. But I like it in this game. I like the story. I like how it changes. I think this is a really fun game to play.
I would highly agree with that. Everything that Sam said, yes. Now, to be clear, we have not completed this game.
No.
We're more than halfway done. I'd say we're pretty close to probably 70% done, maybe. As so far from what we've experienced, there's not anything about this game that you destroy, rip up, or tear up, or anything like that. So it's definitely one that you can put back all together again.
Which is typically not the case in a lot of the games
with a lot of legacy games, you're definitely going to destroy components or whatever, and you can really only play it once, or the whole legacy story once, and then you might have something at the end that you can keep playing over and over again. But so far from what we know about this game, you can definitely reset it and start from the beginning. And play with new friends. In fact, the rulebook even recommends doing that when you include new people into the game that don't know what's been happening in the earlier missions. Or even if you've already played some of the missions, you can still play this game. Just let them kind of try to figure out the puzzle at the end, whereas you can still kind of work together in the mechanic of the game. So on that note, Sam, the gameplay here, let me ask you about that, with the idea that, you have that deck of cards with the numbers 1 through 12. You're trying to play them a certain order, and there's, several games out there that work on that idea of wanting to play low to high cards, but you can't communicate about your cards. This has that, but it also has we're going to take this action to run and take this action to gather, or to do intel, or to reset one of those decks. What did you think about that? I mean, that's pretty much the gameplay in this game.
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
I like it. I think it took probably 1 or 2 rounds, if you would call it that, to get used to it and to really figure out what was going on. The first time, I think you're just kind of fumbling through. But by now, being 70% done with the game, it's just been me and Lance the entire time playing it. We've had the same characters the whole time. We know our characters each character has special abilities. We know what those are. We use them to our advantage. I mean, it's enjoyable. You really feel like, okay, we got this. We have our stuff. Let's play it. We know what we're doing.
Right.
We know how to communicate. So it's bonding.
We have really worked to form a team in this game. Yeah.
And so I think that this could be really enjoyable to play with, like, roommates or husband and wife, or just as a family, because you're going to, each time you start a new mission, you're geared up, you're ready to do it. You
definitely get the team feel with this game. You grow to kind of embody the characters, because, like you said, we've been the same characters. I'm Brock at this point. I mean, I identify with him, and I'm gonna do that brute force and just run through it, and you kind of go into the story. It really envelops you. Which I want to say on that, the storyline here is so intriguing.
Yeah.
A lot of times with narrative games, it sounds good to me on the surface, and I don't know if any of you out there are like me, but it doesn't suck me in enough. Like, the story doesn't pull me in enough. This game is the exception to that. The storyline here is super interesting. I want to know what happens next. I finished this mission. I want to go on to the next one. I want to know what comes next. And then when you throw on the escape room elements, oh my gosh, this game just hits it out of the park.
Yeah, and I think they did a really good job with the time commitment in this game, because there's so many of the other types of
escape room games.
Gosh, I can't remember that word. Escape room type games that we played, that by the end of it, I'm kind of checking out, and I'm letting Lance quarterback the rest of it, which is fine. That's kind of what you get with cooperative games. But in this one, neither one of us are checked out, because it's just the perfect amount of time. It takes us probably,
I'd say 40 minutes maybe, if even that.
Yeah, 30 to 45 minutes probably to commit to complete a mission. And there's been many times where we do 2, I think a couple times,
even 3
in one sitting, because it's so enjoyable. And I cannot say that of any other escape room mystery clue type game. you do one and I'm done. And that doesn't mean they're not fun and enjoyable, but this just, something about it is much more captivating than the other games.
You definitely get the mystery when it comes to the initiative, like what so many escape room games try to go for. This game, it comes natural with it. The comic book feel of flipping through the pages, and it says if you choose to do this, go to this page. If you choose to do that, go to this page.
Well, and in the same way too, there's not so many options and choices that you're just left like, I don't know what we should do next. There's 4 choices. There's 4 things that you can be doing plus your own special ability. And I think limiting that makes it more enjoyable because okay, this is what we're going to be doing. This is the board. These are the things. Let's do it. Right. And then you come up with a plan versus here's everything. Good luck.
Yeah. Now, on the surface, if you were to only play one mission of this game, you might walk away feeling like, what's the big deal? What's the hype about this?
Invest yourself.
You need to play 3 missions. And after that 3rd mission, if you really haven't gotten sucked into this game, then maybe it's not for you. But don't give up on it too soon. Don't just play the first mission and think you understand this game or know what it's all about. You don't. The storyline is going to get you after that 2nd or 3rd mission. It's really going to draw you in. So let's get into our ratings on this game. Scale of 1 to 10, love to hate. Sam, what do you give the initiative?
I really like this game. I think I'm going to give it an 8.2.
8.2. Okay, really high there.
Yeah.
I'm even higher than that.
I thought you would be.
I'm a 9.4.
Wow.
I really, really, really like the initiative, so much so that if I were hopped up on Red Bull, I would want to probably play all, I think it's like 16 or 17 missions.
Yeah.
I would want to play all of them all the way straight through in one setting. Like, I love this game. This is a fantastic game. I hope there's a sequel at some point. I don't know how it ends. Maybe there will be. I don't know. No spoiler there, guys. But I just absolutely really like the initiative. It's a fantastic game. So, Sam, you recommend playing this with non-gamers? Yeah,
absolutely. I think cooperative games in general are going to be great for non-gamers, and this one is really top of the line.
There you go.
Well, make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content. And if you love to hate, check out our website and check out some of our apparel.
All right, I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.